Beautiful. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start in Sukhasana pose. So you get to make your choice whether your dominant leg is in front or the non-dominant leg is in front. We're going to take a few moments here in the Sukhasana pose to arrive. So maybe take a few moments with your eyes still open or half closed. Just taking in everything that is surrounding you. And then once you feel comfortable, a little bit more solid, allow your eyelids to drop. Settle into your physical body. Recognize your breath and how it affects the way that your body is moving, maybe ways that you're tensing. If you're holding any tension, are the places that you can allow to become a bit softer. And shift your focus to your awareness of your body and your breath and the patterns of your thoughts and the interplay between. And then at least once, maybe several times if it suits you, on an inhale, bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Slide your shoulder blades like they glide behind you. Find more wideness through your collarbones. Again, if you'd like to take that several times, please do. But at least offer yourself that one round. Exploring your shoulder mobility. I'd like to invite you to take a dedication or intention for this practice. Maybe it is something along the lines of understanding that you are doing something for your body that is going to serve you. Allowing this practice to be one of gratitude and honor of the physical body that you reside in. Or if there's anything else that speaks to you right now, allow your thoughts to go to that and let that infuse your practice, your movements, and recognize it in the space between thoughts. Bring your palms together in Anjali Mudra, thumbs to your sternum, drop your chin into your chest. Take a deep breath in. Full exhale. Release your hands to your lap, lift up your chin, and then blink open your eyes. We are going to do a couple rounds of Nadi Shodhana, which is alternate nostril breath. And so I think that all of you have done this before probably. So take your right hand, and you can either leave your first and second fingers extended and press against the third eye space, or you can pull them in towards your palm. Either one works. Your thumb goes to the outside of your right nostril. You'll use your ring finger to tap on the opposite nostril, and we will go back and forth. I'll provide guidance for the first couple rounds, and then we'll do some of this pranayama on our own. So choose your position with your right index and middle fingers, thumb to your right nostril. Take a deep breath into the left nostril. Place your ring finger on the left, pause for a moment, open up the right, exhale. Breathe in there through the right. Apply pressure. Open up to the left. Exhale. Inhale. Close off, open. Exhale. Breathe in, pause. Apply pressure. Open up, exhale. Breathe in. Close up, open, exhale. And I'm ready to continue here with this rhythm for several rounds. If you're congested and this feels uncomfortable, then you might consider simply placing your hands on your lap and engaging in mindful breathing, perhaps 4 counts in and 4 counts out. Give yourself another full round where you'll be exhaling through your right nostril. Take your time as you get there. And then when you do, push your palms into your lap. Your dominant hand lying on top of the non-dominant hand, right in front of your pelvis, your thumbs barely to touch each other. Lift your head up and blink your eyes open. On an inhale, reach your arms out and up. Look up toward your palms. And on an exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to your left thigh. Left fingertips behind you. Going to stay here for an extra breath in this seated twist. Even send your chin over your left shoulder. Left shoulder chases the right. Inhale, take it back to center. Arms lift. Get very long through the sides of your body. Exhale, twist to the other side. Again, right shoulder blade is reaching toward the left shoulder blade. Inhale, take it up to center. And this time on an exhale, we're going to take a side body stretch. So left hand goes out to the left. You're going to arc over with your right. You might need to claw at the mat or like walk out a little bit further, but see if you can really ground down through your right hip anyway. Pull your right elbow back so it's not drawing too much in front of you. So really trying to find a really lateral shape here rather than a curve. Inhale, take it up, and then just flip flop to the other side. Right hand is out, arcing over to the right. Left hip rounds down. And if at any time you feel like you need to change out your legs into Sukhasana, like maybe your non-dominant leg is in front and it's providing you discomfort, feel free to make those changes. All right, inhale, take it back up. Next breath in, arms up. You're going to twist your palms so that they're facing away, and then you're going to press your hands toward each other. Yeah. See if you can shrug your shoulders back and then start to bend your elbows, attempting to maintain the connection between your palms. Pull in your floating ribs. For me, I know like my body tries to like help me out, so to say, by poking them out. All that's doing is transferring the energy, and I want to keep it focused. So you're bringing your elbows away from each other, palms toward each other, low belly in. Inhale, take it back up. Notice which hand is on which side. Unravel. And we take it the other side. So inhale, lift up, flip your palms, and then place the other wrist in front. Elbows start to draw away from each other as you press your palms together and knit your floating ribs in. Release through your hips. So your knees are still dropping down toward the mat. Press palms together, reach elbows away. Soften through your forehead. Don't let your thoughts run away with you. And then lift up, unravel once again. Yeah, come over onto your hands and your knees for a tabletop position. And first, just find some movement, a bit of mobility through your joints. Get some of that synovial fluid working around again as we were seated for some time. And we're going to take a couple cow and cat, and I'm going to work on a little bit of our hip mobility. So inhale, drop your belly, reach your heart forward, look up. Exhale, press through your hands and knees to come to your cat pose. Continue to flow through these two poses. And I want you to pay special attention to what is happening with your feet. If your toes are untucked, so the tops of your toenails are pressing into the mat, I really want you to flare your toes out so that you're pressing down through every single toenail. This is going to make sure, or it's going to facilitate your heels pointing straight up rather than flaring out to the sides. You'll start to engage your shins a bit more, and you might feel that in a bit. If your toes are tucked under, perfectly fine. Also might be a better choice for your knees, depending on what's going on. Still flare your toes, and it's like you're flicking the mat away from you so that you're still finding engagement through your shins, not just through the back in this posture. A lot going on. All right, then after your last cat pose with the arched spine, come back down to neutral. And we're gonna just move with a bit of hip mobility. So shift the weight over onto the left knee. If you need to double up your mat for a little more cushioning, you can do that. Reach your right leg out behind you, and you're gonna start to make some really, really big circles with your knee. So I'm starting with bringing my knee towards my shoulder first, down towards my belly, down towards the other knee, and then kicking it back all the way, trying to make the biggest circles I can. So move slowly and be sure as you're bringing your knee in towards your chest, you're engaging your core to help you here. And then take opposite direction. So now I'm lifting my knee up, pointing it right back behind me, dropping it down. My knee kind of glides along the other side, pulling it up towards my chest, and up and back around again. All right, release your knee down next to the other one. Just take a second to recognize any differences you feel. Maybe one side feels more warm. Shift over to the right knee. Again, maybe tuck your toes to give yourself a little bit more balance and security here. And then lift up your left knee. So we'll start by bringing the knee towards the shoulder, down towards your chest. Graze the back thigh, point it up. And then cycle it all the way around. So, I'm saying things like raise your right thigh. Maybe this happens, maybe it doesn't. But that's going to be the general direction that you're moving to. Like, I'm probably never going to get my knee up to my shoulder truly, but I'm going to move as though that is going to happen someday. Okay, take your circles in the opposite direction. Really exaggerate this. And if you are, you probably feel it quite a bit through your core. All right, after that last time, bring your knee down towards the other. Maybe you feel it through your hips as well. We're going to take Anahatasana, melting heart pose, puppy dog pose. Start to bring your hands out to the corners of your yoga mat, point your inner elbows upward, and start to drop your chest down. Be really mindful here. Again, toes tucked or untucked, but just make sure that you're grounding down through your feet. And then press your way back up to your hands and your knees. Fingertips spread wide, inner elbows pointed forward. You're going to basically take a knee down chaturanga, lower as slowly as you can, all the way down onto your mat. Your elbows point straight up. Take some shoulder stretch here. Reach your right arm out to the side, perpendicular to you, thumb in line with your eyebrow. Send your gaze to the left. Press through your left hand and start to rock over onto your right shoulder. 3 breaths. Beginning with the 3rd breath, start to come right back up. Right hand presses down, left arm out. Press your right hand, start to roll over onto your left shoulder. Take 3 breaths. After that 3rd exhale, come back onto your belly. And then we're going to press back to a child's pose, toes together, knees wide, and allow your chest to drift down toward the mat. Again, toward, not necessarily to. So first we'll take an active version of child's pose. Reach your arms out long in front of you, come up onto your finger pads, reach your hips towards your heels, and yet try to draw your spine longer with your fingers pulling forward, pulling forward. Then release the tension of your arms, let your hands drop and your elbows drop to the mat. And then one thing that you might consider doing that I recommend, pressing your palms together and then lifting your hands up so that you're pressing down through your elbows. You might feel a deep stretch through your triceps, the muscles alongside the back of your arms. So you have a prayer pose towards the back of your head or even toward the back of your neck. And here, if you have your palms together in this variation, still imagine that your hips are pulling back towards your heels and your shoulder blades are sliding down and around your rib cage, pressing down toward the mat. Several more breaths. And then on an exhale, take your hands back. If you took that motion, come up on your hands and knees, tuck your toes, press up and back, downward facing dog, first one of this class. Make sure your fingertips are spread really wide. Inner thighs press back. On an inhale, rise to your toes, come to the top of a plank pose, check your work, make sure that your wrists are below your shoulders. And then on an exhale, pull your chin to chest, puff up your back, roll up and back to downward facing dog. I wonder if my microphone just picked up how my ankles cracked like 14 times. We're gonna do that once more. Inhale, rise to toes, come to top of plank pose. Always an option to drop your knees. Exhale, chin to chest. Lift it up and back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look towards the top of your mat, and on an exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. We're going to take a forward fold twist here first. So bend your knees pretty generously. Your left hand is going to come directly below your face onto the mat or a block if you want the earth to be a little bit closer to you. Take your right hand up toward the ceiling. Alternately, you can take hand to hip, put your elbow up. Left inner elbow is wrapped out towards the front of your mat. Maybe your right leg comes a little straighter. Pull your left hip back so it's in line with the right and it's not just shifted forward. On an exhale, bend both knees, drop your right hand, place it where your left is. Left fingertips come up. Or again, you can always take your hand to hip. Right hip draws back in line with the left as well. Press through the right hand, lift up your left fingertips. Exhale, forward fold. Give yourself ragdoll pose. 3 breaths. Softness to your forehead and your neck. Release. And then drop your fingertips toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Get strong through your belly. Reach your chin out. Exhale, forward fold. Root to rise, reverse swan dive, press through your feet. Take your arms up toward the ceiling, send your gaze upward. And on an exhale, hands to your heart center and arms alongside your body. We're going to take a sun salutation B. So take your toes together, heels slightly apart. If you know you prefer the hips width distance, do that, but I find this one to be just a bit more stable. Sit low, inhale, Utkatasana, arms lift. Exhale, fold, release down. Inhale, halfway lift, offer your heart out. Exhale, fold. Step back to top of plank pose. On an exhale, knees up or down, lower to or toward your mat, elbows towards your ribs. Untuck your toes, take a deep breath and a back bend. Press the tops of your toes. Exhale, take it up and back to downward facing dog. We'll take warrior 1. Step your left foot in an angle first, and then your right foot all the way forward. Ground down. Press through your feet. Lift up. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. Right hip draws back, left forward. Find space between ears and shoulders. Maybe descend the right leg just a little bit more. And then on an exhale, pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Take your hands down. Step your right foot back. Take a vinyasa between sides if you'd like. And then we'll take warrior 1 on the other side. Step your right foot in slightly. Angle it. Press down through the foot for stability. Left foot comes forward. When you're ready, rise up. Again, we're going to stay here for a couple breaths. So feel free to find refinement in the pose. And one thing here, you might even take your left hand to your right rib cage and then pivot your entire torso a bit. Descend the left thigh just a bit more. And then when you're ready on your exhale, pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Step your hands down to the mat. Left foot comes back. Vinyasa if you would like to take it. And then we return to downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Find a deeper inhale. And an even deeper exhale. Then bend your knees, look towards the top of your mat, and on an exhale, step or hop to the top, forward fold, toes together. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen out, press through your feet for balance. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, sit low, Utkatasana, arms lift. Exhale, come up, standing, arms are still lifted. Hands to your heart, arms alongside your body. 5 breaths in Tadasana. When you're ready, inhale your arms right back up toward the ceiling. Sit low, Utkatasana, but we're going to stay here. Shoulders shrugging away, pinkies wrapped toward each other. And then sit lower, lower, lower. Maybe your thighs are even parallel with the ground. And then eventually just rock all the way onto your bum. We're going to take a Navasana pose here. So knees up, shins up. Perhaps you can take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Option to stay right here, or we're going to move with me and we're going to do some Ardha Navasana. Arms outstretched. And then on an inhale, extend legs out, lean back, hover your heels, hover your shoulders. Exhale, pull everything in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull in, pull your knees toward each other. Intense, yeah? Inhale, take it out. Exhale, pull your knees toward each other. One more time. Take it up. Take your knees up, then drop your feet, drop your arms around your shins, relax. Drop your forehead towards your knees. All right, lift back up and then roll your way all the way onto your mat. If you're looking for extra zhuzh, don't let your hands touch the backs of your thighs. And we're gonna take hand to toe pose reclined here. So first, right leg comes in towards your chest. You can extend your leg up. You can take your hands behind your thigh or hand to big toe. See how your pelvis feels. Maybe extend left leg out in front of you. Not necessary, but if you do, flex the left foot very strongly. Also flex the right foot. Start to bring the right thigh down toward your chest while you're pressing up through your right heel and bringing your toes towards your shin. So you might not move as far. You might even find that it's more comfortable for you to have a bend in your knee. Maybe you even bend your knee, draw it a little bit closer, and then attempt to extend it again. Don't forget about what is happening to the left leg. Keep activity through that. All right, release the tension, lift up. Your right leg entirely turns out to the right, and then drop the entire leg over to the right. So again, you might have your peace fingers around your big toe, or you can simply place your hand to your right thigh. You're still flexing through both of your feet. If your left leg is extended, left hand can tack down on your left hip. Keep pressing through the right heel. See if you can keep both shoulders onto the mat. The left one might have a tendency to roll away. All right, lift the right leg up toward the ceiling. Turn all the toes to the left. Drop your entire leg over to the left. Your right hip will come away from the mat. And then, of course, you can take your left hand with peace fingers to the big toe, or simply take your hand to the thigh. So we also have a twist here because you're going to try to bring your right shoulder down to the mat as well. Keep flexing through the left foot if you have it extended. All right, inhale back to the center. Bend both knees, place your feet in toward the mat. Separate your feet out hips width distance, drop both knees over to the right. Back up to the ceiling, drop them back over to the left. Come back to center. All right, extend the left leg up toward the ceiling. Option to take fingers to toe or hands to the backs of your thigh. Explore what's going on here. Maybe extend that right leg. So again, flexing through both feet, pressing up through the heel, left heel as you draw your leg towards you. It's going to make it more difficult. And maybe even try bending the knee, drawing your thigh closer to your chest, and then re-straightening the leg. You might do this several times. Just check it out. What happens when that occurs? Soften through your face. All right, then lessen that tension. Turn your left toes to the left. Actually feel your entire femur. Shift the left. Drop your left leg open. Find your left hand either to your toes or to your thigh. Right hip is tacking down. Both shoulders working to be flat towards the mat. Again, maybe find some of that resistance, maybe at the end of the knee, and then you're straightening with the left leg. All right, loosen that. Take the left leg up toward the ceiling. Turn your toes toward the right. So you're kind of like inverting your leg. And then drop it across your body. Make adjustments to your shoulders as you need. Also a twist here. Continue to press through your left heel. All right, and then lift your leg up back toward the ceiling, bend both knees, place your feet into the mat. Separate your feet wider than hips distance, maybe as wide as your mat. Drop both knees over to the left. Send back up to center, drop both knees over to the right. All right, take them back to center. Pull your knees to your chest, hands to the backs of your thighs. We're gonna make our way to a forward fold. So you might just like roll over one side and make your way there. Or if you're looking for some more dynamic movements and playing with control with your body and your breath, rock up and down the length of your spine, and then maybe without hands, you roll all the way forward, fold, press through your feet, Come all the way down. Yeah. Awesome. On your next inhale, lift up halfway, gaze out, exhale, fold. Press through your feet, reach your arms out and up toward the ceiling, send your gaze up. Really find length at the sides of your body. Exhale, hands to your heart. And then we're gonna flow back to downward facing dog through a half sun salutation A. Inhale, hands lift, chin goes up. Exhale, forward fold. Really lead with your heart here. Release your hands, breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Come to downward facing dog if you'd like. Flow through vinyasa. This is up to you. Deep breath in, full breath out. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up toward the ceiling. And then on your exhale, pull your knee towards your chest. Lift up through your left heel so that you can bring your right foot all the way forward. Maybe use your hand to guide. So we're going to take a down dog lunge, that down dog warrior 2 hybrid. So angle your left foot down, right knee still over your right ankle, and then pivot your torso over to the left, reach your arms out long. Keep reaching out to the inner side of your right knee. Keep pressing to the outer side of your left foot. Let your head float. Maybe remind yourself with a little bit of a shake. All right, lift up halfway and start to bring your torso and your arms back to the front foot. And then when you're ready, unravel into warrior 2. Took a while to get here, yeah? So find a little bit of buoyancy, a little bit of movement, shoulders stacked over your hips. Descend a little bit lower. Flip your right palm up, drop your left or tuck it behind your low back. Exalted warrior. Stay here for 3 breaths. Again, right elbow isn't curving forward, lots of lateral movement. Elbow points more or less up. All right, and then come back to your warrior 2. Side angle pose, right forearm to the right thigh. Lift your left fingertips up toward the ceiling. So earlier when we took that warrior 1 in this sensile B, we kind of wrapped rib cage up. That could serve you well here as well. Simply breathe. Look down towards your right foot. Unravel, tap your hands down to the mat, drop your left knee. Anjaneyasana, lift your arms up, drop your hips. And that same activity we talked about earlier, our cow and cat with the back foot with your toes, engage that here. So either you're flaring through your toes or you're tucking them and flicking them out away. Start to lift up through your chest and then arc back. All right, lift right back up so your shoulders are over your hips. Take your right hand to your right hip crease, arc over to the right. Drawing your right hip back. And then on an exhale, complete that circle, left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. If you'd like, place your palms together, or you could keep your right hand to your right hip. We're going to stay with the knee down. So just lengthen out on an inhale, and on your exhales, continue to twist. Make sure that that back foot is securing you down. Breathe. Even in this compressed position, can you find your long exhales? And coming back to things we were talking about at the beginning of class, these tiny stress-reducing movements and experiences will serve you later. All right, send your gaze down towards the front foot, unravel, take both hands down to the mat, tuck your back toes, lift up the back knee, step your left foot forward, forward fold, top of your mat, feet hips width distance. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Peace fingers to your big toes. You might need to bend your knees pretty deeply in order to get this to happen. Your thumbs are going to press on top of the toenail. So whether your knees are more bent, more straight, inhale, look out halfway. And then on an exhale, you're going to bring your chest closer to your thighs. Elbows might come out to the sides, depending on your depth of the fold here. Shoulders away from your ears. Shift the weight a little bit more to the balls of your feet if it's shifting all the way back to your heels. And then release that grip. Take a ragdoll pose. 3 breaths, your variation. Maybe take your hands to clasp behind. the base of your skull. 3 breaths starts now. After your third exhale, release hands down toward the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, look out. Exhale, fold, hinging at your hips, taking up all the space you can. Come all the way up to standing. Arms lift, chin is up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Take 3 breaths here. And then when you're ready, inhale, palms lift, chin is up. Exhale, forward fold, take it all the way down. Inhale, offer your heart out. And exhale to honor yourself. Take your path back to downward facing dog, perhaps a vinyasa suits you. Also feel free to skip it at any time. And then when you're ready, on your inhale, left leg up and back, create lots of space. And then on an exhale, place your foot between your hands, really lift up on your right toes rather, to give yourself space. We're gonna take that warrior 2 down dog hybrid, angle the right foot down, not quite parallel to the back of the mat. We want your knee and your second toe to be generally in the same line, torso out towards an angle, reach your arms out in front of you. Left knee still over your left heel, inner thigh reaching forward. For this one, it is okay if your bum's sticking out. Don't worry about it. Let your head drop. And again, like we did with our child's pose earlier, using your hands to draw further away, finding length in your spine. Okay, start to bring your torso and your hands back towards the left leg. Your left hip is going to pull in here. When you're ready, warrior 2, unravel. Sit low. Again, maybe find a little bit of movement. Shoulders moving from side to side. Eventually, shoulders are gently over your hips. Fingers extending away from you. Flick the left hand up, right hand drops or comes to your low back, exalted warrior. We'll be here for 3 breaths. Left elbow might have a tendency to rock forward. We're not looking for that twist here. We're looking for an open side bend. And then when you're ready, come back to the warrior 2. Side angle, left forearm to left thigh. Of course, if you want to take it further, take your hand down to the mat, please do that. Right fingertips up toward the ceiling. Left side of your ribcage is wrapping up. Notice if you're slumping into your left arm. Get active through your fingertips, press up and away. You're still making a really long line through the left side of your body, kind of like if you would in a triangle pose. All right, look down towards your mat. On an exhale, pivot onto the ball of your back foot, take both hands down to the mat, drop your right knee down. On Jayanasana, arms will lift. Again, find the activity through the back toes. Maybe lift your heart up and back as you descend through your hips, active through your fingers, pinkies kind of starting to face toward each other. All right, come out of that deep bend if you've taken it. Left hand to your left hip crease, arc over to the left. Be mindful of the elbow that might try to squeeze forward. We're going to first take the side bend. And now let your elbow come forward. Elbow to the outside of your thigh. Maybe press your palms together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist more deeply. Find a long breath. A slower exhale. Softening through the body parts that don't really have an active part in the pose, like your jaw and your tongue and your cheeks. All right, send your gaze back down towards the front of your mat. Unravel, take your hands down, framing the front foot. Tuck your back toes, pop up the back knee. You're going to step forward to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. All right, this time we're going to stand on our hands, but not a handstand. You're going to bend your knees pretty significantly. That might be helpful. And you're going to flip your hands. So your palms are up, the backs of your hands are on your mat, your thumbs are faced toward each other. You're going to slide your hands underneath your feet. This is the pose where you recognize the last time that you had a pedicure. So your toes are going to be massaging in towards your inner wrists. So again, you might need to bend your knees pretty significantly to make this happen. That's fine. And even if you find that your toes don't come all the way to the wrists, that's fine. Let's say you've got that toe to wrist connection. You're going to inhale, lift up halfway, and you're going to exhale and then hinge forward again. You might need to bend your elbows out to the side, shift the weight more towards your balls of your feet at your wrists. Give yourself a little massage with your toes. Calm yourself through your breath. All right, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step off of your hands. And then ragdoll pose, 5 breaths, your choice how you'd like to do this. Either hands to the back of skull, elbows below your low back, just hooking your fingertips. First is now. All right, release your fingertips down toward the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, look up. Exhale, fold. Press through your feet, come all the way up to standing, palms lift. Get as tall as you possibly can. And on an exhale, take your hands to your heart center, maintaining the length through the crown of your head. Arms alongside your body, Tadasana. We're going to float back to downward facing dog. Inhale, hands lift, look up. Exhale, go all the way forward. Breath in, offer your heart out halfway. And then exhale to send your heart down again. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Feel free to step back to plank pose. Exhaling through your chaturanga. Inhaling for a back bend. Exhaling to a downward facing dog. Very deep breath in. Very full breath out. We're going to take that same sequence and add on to it. Right leg lifts up. Exhale, place your foot between your hands toward the right thumb. Angle your left foot down, down dog hybrid, down dog lunge. So start to take your torso out to the left. Let your head soften, let your neck soften, that is. And then realign your torso with the right thigh coming forward. Press through your feet. Warrior 2, get low. Maybe you can drop your right thigh even more. Flip the right palm, exalted warrior. 3 breaths, long through the side of your body. At the end of your third exhale, side angle or perhaps extended side angle. So the difference here is going to be left arm is straight up or sweep the arm around so that your left arm is mimicking the shape of your left leg. That is the extension. Again, left elbow, draw it back, pulling your floating ribs, long through the right side of your body. Simply breathe, 3 more breaths. Really nice, you guys. On your next exhale, look down towards the top of your mat, take your hands down, drop the left knee, Anjaneyasana, arms lift, start to descend into the front thigh. Find the activity through the back foot. Let this fire you forward and fuel you. Again, you might be lifting up, arcing back, kind of like if you're taking a camel pose. All right, we're going to take that side body bend. Right hand to right hip crease, arc over to the right. Left elbow pointing more or less straight upward. Don't let it come in front of your face too much. That is the physical goal. And then on an exhale, you're going to drop your elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Press your palms together. Low lunge twist, prayer twist. I think you know what's coming. Tuck your back toes if they're not already. Okay, you can always stay here and join us in a moment, or start to lift up the back knee. Prayer twist here. Just breathe. Look down to the front foot. Your left foot is going to touch your right, or we're going to move toward it. Find a little bit of momentum, shift the weight to the right foot, bring your left toe towards your right toe. So now you are in a twisted chair. Inhale, come back to center, regular Utkatasana. Exhale, fold, release, let your hips lift up. Separate your feet if you'd like, ragdoll pose. Just release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press through your feet, reach your arms out and up toward the ceiling. And on an exhale, take your hands to your heart center, tree pose. Shift the weight to the left leg, lift up onto your right toes, pull your right knee out to the side, and then zip your foot into the left leg, perhaps at the ankle, up toward the calf, or up toward the thigh. If you have an Ardha Padma, so a half lotus here, I invite you to take that as well. I will be leading through just foot into left leg. However, ground down through the left foot, lift up through your heart, knit in through your ribs, grow taller through the crown of your head. Pressing right foot into left leg back into the other, creating a very firm foundation here, and providing enough stability that you can explore freedom elsewhere and finding expression through your arms, the tilt of your head, the openness or closeness of your eyelids. Find your foundation and your stability, and then begin to explore freedom that you've created. If you've brought your arms out, bring your hands back close into your heart. Oh my gosh, my mom would be so disappointed in me. Take your right knee towards the front of your room, towards your mat, stand down. Walk it out, shake it out. Snap, crackle, pop. And then come to Tadasana, either Samasthiti, hands at your heart, your arms alongside your body. We'll be here for 5 breaths. Feel free to close your eyes or leave them open. Eyes open or closed, we're going to flow back to downward facing dog. Feel free to move to the rhythm of your own breath, or you can follow my guidance. Inhale, hands lift, chin goes up. Exhale, forward fold, release your hands. Inhale, fingertips press into something, shoulders blades back, half. Exhale, fold, step back to top of Palankasana. Knees up or down, lower to or towards your mat. Untuck your toes. Inhale for a back bend. And then on an exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Take a very deep breath in and a very full exhale. Guide your thoughts back to the dedication you've set. If there's been any wandering, no big deal. And as you're ready, inhale, left leg comes up and back, lifts up to your right toes. Exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your left thumb. Angle the right foot down like warrior 2. Down dog lunge, take your torso and arms out to the side. Drop your left hip, your left thigh. Again, it's okay if your bum sticks out. And then walk your hands back towards the front of your mat. Realign your left hip. When you're ready, exhale, warrior 2. Flip your left palm, exalted warrior, drop the right or take it to your low back. 3 breaths here, guide the left elbow more straight up toward the ceiling. Keep the descent in your left leg. Back to warrior 2, side angle or extended side angle. And of course, if you want to take your left hand all the way down to the mat, you're welcome to do that. Right elbow more or less along your cheek or your ear, wrapping left rib cage up. Still find lots of length to the left side of your body. Long, slow breaths here, even here. Look down toward your left foot, put onto the ball of your back. When you're ready, take your hands down toward the mat, drop the right knee down, Anjaneyasana, left side, arms lift. Pick what's happening with your toes on the right leg. And then ground down through those toes, either flared or tucked. And again, lift your chest up, arc back. Scissor your thighs together for balance. You're going to pull your left heel towards your right knee. And then we're going to take the side bend. So come out of the back bend. Left hand toward left hip, arc over to the left. First, resist the temptation of drawing your right elbow in front of you. And then, with full intention, wrap the elbow around to the outside of your thigh. You can keep your left hand to hip or press palms together. Low lunge prayer. Find length through your spine. Let's shake it up. Tuck your back toes if they're not already. You can stay here or begin to extend the back leg. Yes. Maybe even lean back slightly. Awesome. That looks beautiful, Dan. All right, look down towards the left toes. You're going to step the right foot forward, one step or several. Maybe you come out of the pose in order to re-enter it. You're going to start to bring your toes toward each other, knees toward each other. Chair twist. Inhale, come back to Utkatasana, regular. Hand, your chest facing towards the front of the room. Exhale, forward fold, release. Step your feet apart. Inhale, halfway lift, look out. Exhale, fold. Come all the way up to standing. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. We're going to take Vrikshasana, tree pose again. Shift the weight to the right foot. Come onto the ball of your left foot. And then knee out to the side. So like we were playing with our hip mobility earlier, it's like your femur's like wrapping around. Zip up, foot to leg. And then take your position with the left foot. Use your hand to help you. And again, if you want to take that half lotus, I invite you to move in that direction if that's in your practice. First, let's find our stability so that we can find our freedom. Lift up on your right kneecap. Press down through the foot. Press your left foot into your leg, right leg into the left foot. And then once you feel secure, we're going to see what we can do to change that. Find your expression in the way that matters to you right now. Maybe it's the same thing you did on the side before if you're seeking balance, or feel free to explore something else. You can find different freedom of expression through your torso, arms, tilt of head, open or closed eyes. Move as you're ready, and maybe start to explore other ways. When you're ready, if you need more time, take it. If you're ready, you're going to start to bring your hands back towards your heart center if you take that difference. And eventually bring your left knee towards the front of the room. Stand down. Make any movements that you need to find that balance, equilibrium once again, best you can. And then come to Samastiti, hands at heart, or arms alongside your body. We'll be here for 5 breaths. Inhale, hands lift, chin up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Release hands. Deep breath in, offer your heart out. Find resistance with your fingertips for a lengthened spine. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank pose. If you'd like, always option. Step back to down dog. Knees up or down. Exhale, lower towards your mat. Untuck your toes. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Deep inhale, full exhale. And then drop your knees to the mat. Come to sit on your knees. The next pose you're going to take is kind of our peak pose, which is Gomukhasana. So there's a lot of twisties going on here. So yeah, so it's kind of fun when I'm not mirroring you, right? So to come to our Gomukhasana pose, you're going to come to your hands and your knees first. Place your left knee more towards the center of your body instead of like below your hip, just here for a second. You're going to lift up your right leg. You're going to remember all of that mobility that worked out earlier. And you're going to tuck your knee behind the other. You're going to set your heels a little bit wider than your hips. So we might find that like, oh, this is not working out so well. So we're going to see. So start to sit your bit, set your hips back, and then you're going to try to settle your hips between your ankles. This might like not be happening today. If it is not happening today, rewind, uncross, sit on your heels, or even place something underneath you so that you've got space here. That works as well. I'm going to take the twisted legs variation, and then I'll do the other variation after. Okay, so next thing you'll do is you'll lift up your left hand. Gomukhasana pose, flip your hand so it's facing the wall behind you. Drop your hand down to pat yourself on the back. Right arm out, thumb down. You're going to sweep it around. You're either going to grasp your shirt, reach for your fingertips. Maybe this happens, maybe it doesn't. Both sides of my body are super different. So one side it happens, one side it doesn't. Regardless of where you're at, left elbow points up, right elbow points down. Again, common theme. Is your elbow coming in front of your face? You're going to guide it back. Okay. You can stay right here. If you would like, begin to hinge your way forward. If you're sitting on your knees, this might provide some undue discomfort. And if so, my recommendation is to simply sit back. However, if this is okay, go for it. Right shoulder is still pulling back and not angling out in front of you. Still find length through your spine, not really curving in, just tilting. All right, inhale, lift up. Release the right arm, the bottom arm. Carefully unwind. Carefully unwind the left arm. Come over onto your hands and knees. Your legs are all twisted up, uncross. And then, like we did towards the beginning of class, find some movement through your joints. Just shift around. Maybe if you cow and cat would feel good here. And then we're going to take the other side. So if you did the same sides as I did, your right knee is going to move more towards the center of your body. Lift out your left leg. Explore that hip mobility again. Your knee crosses the other. Heels are slightly flared out, wider than your hips. And you're going to sit your hip back. So for this one, I'm going to do the other way, with just sitting on my knees, just to see the difference. Okay, this time, your right arm comes up, palm faces behind you, drop your hands. So it's either going to touch the back of your head, maybe just kind of floats there, neck, or all the way down to your back. But the action is patting yourself on the back, right elbow points up, left arm out, thumb down, and then start to sweep behind you, either gripping shirts, maybe you've got a strap or a belt or something, or maybe you've got your hands to touch. Again, right elbow generally is pointing more up. Really think about it not coming towards your face. So even if your elbow is pointing out to the side, that's great. We just want to start working it upward so you find more of a deeper stretch through that kind of tricep region that we were exploring earlier in our Anahatasana pose. Left shoulders back, lifting up, floating ribs in. You might even need to press your head back against your arms here. Okay, like on the other side, you might find that tilting forward is where you want to go. If you're on your knees and it causes too much stress on your knees or on your hips, then stay upright. However, it still might work for you to tilt forward. Your elbows are still not really coming towards the front of your face. They're working more upward toward the ceiling. Your left elbow is working more down. Take the pose out of your forehead and out of your jaw. All right, start to lift your way back up. Unravel the left arm, the bottom arm first. Lift up your right hand, let it spiral all the way down. If you have your knees crossed, we're all going to come over onto hands and knees. Uncross your knees, come back to that tabletop pose. Find some organic movements, shifting around, flowing through cow and cat perhaps. And then cross at your ankles so you can come to sit on your thumb. We're going to take a Baddha Konasana pose. Feet together, knees wide. Scoot your bum a little bit closer to you if you'd like. Hands to your feet, shoulder blades back. Get long, get strong. Press your knees down and back. And as you notice that you do that, you might even start to shift forward. This is a great hint. You're going to lean yourself all the way forward, lengthening on inhales. And on your exhales, tilt forward. If you're feeling, again, any kind of undue stress here, you might want to place something underneath your hips or scoot your hips back just a little bit. This pose does not have to be super intense. Inhale to lift up. Extend your left leg out in front of you. Right foot comes into your left thigh. We're going to take a Janu Sirsasana. Inhale, lift up your arms, pivot your torso toward the left leg, extend your arms outward. Inhale, look out. Exhale, descend. Again, bent knees are perfectly fine here. Flex through your left toes. Right shoulder drops in the same plane as your left. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, break your pose. Stargazer, right hand behind your right hip, fingertips point away. Sweep your left arm around, come up onto the right shin, press down through left foot. Again, flare through the right toes. And then on an exhale, wave yourself all the way around. Janu Sirsasana, other side, right leg extends, left foot into thigh. Inhale, get long, straighten up, and then pivot toward the right leg. Reach your hand for your foot. Give yourself one more opportunity to break your pose on an inhale, and then deepen it on the exhale. And just like in our Baddha Konasana pose, your left knee is drawn down and back. This will also help propel your chest toward your thigh. Right leg is bent or straighter. On a breath in, lift up. And then exhale, release your pose, Stargazer, left hand behind you. Sweep your right arm around, come onto your left shin. Press through your toes, reach up and back. Maybe even gaze to your fingertips. And then on an exhale, start to sweep yourself all the way back down. Bend both knees, place your feet into the mat, and then either hands to the backs of your thighs or arms out alongside you, palms up. Slowly, slowly roll yourself all the way down onto your back. Bring your heels in a little bit closer to you. We're going to take a bridge pose here. If you prefer to do a flowing bridge, then please move whenever you're ready. If you want to take a static version, then you're going to move with me. So first, press the back of your head against the mat so that you can slide your shoulder blades underneath you. Lift your hands up toward the ceiling. Palms are facing toward each other, so you're really, really pressing down through your elbows. Press down through your hips. Start to find the arc in your back first without lifting your hips. Press through your feet. And then on an exhale, lift up your hips while maintaining that deep curve in your upper back. Yes. Find some tension to your bum. You can leave your hands as is, or extend your elbows, and then your pinkies are along the mat. Or take it a little bit further if you'd like, shrugging your shoulders underneath you. You guys have been here before. Clasping your hands, press through your pinkies, and breathe in your bridge pose. Two more breaths. And then begin to unwind. If you're doing your flowing bridge, you probably start to take your last ones. If you've taken a different variation like mine, I'm going to uncross Lift up your heels and then slowly lay your spine back down onto the mat. Take your feet about as wide as the mat and drop your knees toward each other. I'm going to take one final reclined twist. So this is a Supta Ardha Matsyendrasana. Pull your right knee towards your chest, left leg comes out. Draw your knee across your body. Adjust your shoulders, simply gaze over to the right. Maybe allow your eyes to close. Head knee back to center, extend your right leg out and pull your left knee in close to you. And then twist in the opposite direction. As always, same but different. And then as you're ready on the next step, take your head and knee back to center. Allow your hips to be touching, shifting. Pull your knees in close to you. Wrap your arms around your shins, giving yourself an embrace, honoring this body that you live in, being grateful for this practice that you practice, deepening the relationship that you have with yourself, and thereby also deepening the relationship that you have with others, exploring those connections. And when you're ready, the final posture of this class is Shavasana. Start to move into your corpse pose. If there's another variation that you'd like to take, please do that. And now's a nice time to make adjustments to your surroundings. Attempting to remove the physical stressors on your body, releasing that tension that you have created or that may already exist. Try a little bit less. Allow yourself to loosen the grip on your thoughts. Try a little less. Allow yourself to simply exist. Slowly draw in a deeper breath and exhale. Invite movement back into your body gently and mindfully. And then when you're ready, roll over into your right side, pausing for a few moments and making your way to a seated posture for a brief meditation and reflection on this practice. When you're ready, inhale, put your arms up. Palms press above your head. On an exhale, take your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought. Down to your lips for clarity of speech, and then to your heart for clarity of action. Bow your head to your heart. Honor this body, this practice, the work that you do, the work that you share with others, the light that you bring to others, the light and the warmth that you've brought to me. I am eternally grateful for you. Thank you so much for being here this morning and for practicing with me. I hope to see you very soon. In the name of the highest good, namaste.